Hey YouTubers, how's it going? This is Nike to Know, and today I'm coming at you another quick video. In this video I'm going to be discussing my thoughts and giving you guys just a rounded review of the new Apple iPad 2. So sitting in front of you now is a 16 gigabyte Wi-Fi plus 3G white Apple iPad 2. This cost me $629.99, which rounded to about $670. Bought it from my local Best Buy on release date, and waited in line for about 2 hours and got my hands on it. So the first thing you'll notice, obviously, is that the iPad 2 comes in two colors, white and black. I got the white one just because it's the more different of the two. And it also comes in three sizes, 16 gigabyte, 32 gigabyte, and 64 gigabyte. It also comes in Wi-Fi mode only or 3G mode only, and it also comes with Verizon's network or AT&T's network. This is an AT&T model. So altogether you have about 18 configurations to choose from. When you combine the different colors you can choose, different services, and different sizes. So the first thing you'll notice that's different about the iPad 2 is how thin it is. Now if you haven't had a chance to get your hands on one of these guys, you really should, because this thing is extremely thin. Apple says it's 33% thinner, and they are not lying. It is 0.34 inches thin. You can see here, just from me flashing it onto the camera here, guys, it is extremely thin. And not only that, but when you hold it in your hand, it feels so much thinner. Like right now, it feels like a piece of paper literally in your hand, just sitting there. I had an iPad 2 for a full year, and I'm sorry, an iPad 1 for a full year, and this feels astronomically thinner than the iPad 1. Next thing you'll notice is that they did add a front-facing camera as well as a rear-facing camera. Let's talk about the front-facing camera first. The front-facing camera is not great at all. Not gonna lie, I'm an Apple fanboy, but the front-facing camera disappoints. It works and everything, but it's just not up to par with what it should be in 2011. We have things like the BlackBerry Playbook, Motorola Zoom, LG G Slate that are coming around with like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, even 10 megapixel cameras on some of the 3D tablets coming out later in 2011. I don't know why we need to have a VGA camera in the iPad 2 as opposed to, I don't know, maybe how about just give us a 3 megapixel camera. So front-facing camera disappoints. It is there though, so if you are doing quick FaceTime talks or snapping a quick photo of you and your friend, it'll suffice. The rear-facing camera, I can't say too much anything better about it really. It's not that great either, but it's a lot better than the front-facing camera. When it takes pictures, they do look grainy, but they're clear when you look at them through your photos, and they get the job done basically. So these cameras are put in place not for anyone who's looking to take good quality pictures, just for someone who's looking to snap a quick shot of him and his friend, you and your friend just chilling, playing on the photo booth application, things like that. You'll notice here also on the side we have a more rounded edge as compared to the iPad 1. Your volume rockers and your mute switches kind of pop out of the device as opposed to being ingrained in it like the iPad 1. I personally like that. You have a lot more of a tapered design all around the iPad, I'm sorry. You look here at the bottom also. Let me try to focus this in here. You see the speakers right here. They are dotted as opposed to in the other iPad 1 where you had speakers running down the bottom here. I kind of like this design because it kind of adds to the sleekness of it. Some people like it, some people don't. The speaker is pretty decent on this device also. Also on the hardware side, you'll notice that the SIM card slot has been put into the top of the device and is kind of also playing into the tapered role, which I like because it makes the iPad look like everything's kind of just like, you know, just in its place and it's part of the iPad as opposed to just putting it on just for it to be there. I know it doesn't make much sense, guys, but that's just how I feel about it. And then on the top here, you'll see you have your earphone jack, 3.5 millimeters, and you have your home button and sleep button. Or not your home button, sorry, just your power button and your wake button. Bottom here, you guys all know this is the home button. Focus that in here. White home button. And what else can I talk to you about? Well, lastly for the design, this can be a screen lock or it can also be a silent switch. You can configure that in the software itself. So just some numbers for your geeks out there. It runs 7.31 inches across, 9.5 inches down, and as I said already, 0.34 inches excuse me, 0.34 inches thickness. Let's go ahead and go into the iPad 2. Slide to unlock here. Everything's basically the same. Get my passcode in there. Not that it really matters if you guys see it or not. So you'll notice a couple of different things here as compared to the iPad 1. You do have the FaceTime application right here. You also have right next to it here the photo booth application. These two are exclusive to the iPad 2. You can't get them on the iPad 1, obviously because the iPad 1 has no cameras. And I also forgot to mention another number for you guys, 9.7-inch diagonal LED backlit glossy widescreen multi-touch display. Included in that is the IPS technology for you geeks out there. More about the display, it's a 1024 by 768 pixels, 132 ppi, which are pixels per inch. Okay. Another thing you'll notice about the iPad 2 is how snappy it is. Like you see, there's absolutely no lag whatsoever on the iPad 1 on the iPad 2. Sometimes you'll notice on the iPad 1 where you used to go from the search tab to your next tab, you see a little bit of a lag. Right now there's nothing. This thing is very, very speedy. And that's mostly due to the new A5 1GHz dual-core processor that's been installed into this bad boy. Apple claims it is much faster, and much is a very vague word, but I have to agree with them. It is much, much faster. Talk about battery life here. Battery life on the iPad 2 is great, just like the iPad 1. It's definitely not an improvement, I can tell you that much. Battery life is either the same or the battery life on the iPad 1 is a little bit better. I don't know, I just haven't had enough time, I guess, to use it in the long term, but my iPad 1 battery had a great battery life. It would stay days and days of me using it, and battery life would be very strong. iPad 2 it's pretty much the same at this point. I would even rank it a little bit under the battery life of the iPad 1, just because I've had to charge it more than I would charge my iPad 1. But of course, you guys got to remember that you are getting faster speeds and you are getting better graphics performance. So if you can compare the batteries outside of the devices, of course the iPad 2 battery will be stronger. More about the battery, it is a 25 watt-hour rechargeable battery, and again, Apple does claim it's 10 hours. Alright guys, so that's really basically a quick overview of the iPad 2 and what it brings to the table. I mean, of course this review isn't too detailed because this isn't a revolutionary device, it's an evolutionary device. It's a step up from the iPad 1, it's not a completely new device, it's an iPad 2 that's kind of should be named the iPad 1.1. The basic things that they added really were the two cameras and made it thinner. Like really just to cut to the chase. So what does that mean for you? Well, if you're a geek, you already have one of these, and you're probably not watching this video to buy one, you're just watching it to find out what else you can do with your device. But if you're a new customer and you don't have an iPad 1, you're obviously going to probably go ahead and buy the iPad 2 just because of these minimal upgrades. Though, many of you probably have the iPad 1 and are thinking about, should I upgrade, should I not? Well, to be quite honest, if your iPad 1 is still fresh in your hands and you just recently got it, I don't think it's really worth the upgrade. I mean, to be quite honest right now. The two cameras really don't do anything for you because they're just not good enough quality. They kind of turn you off and really don't invite you to use them. The thinness of the device is really cool, I would say. It feels a lot different in your hand if you've been using your iPad 1 for about a year. But is that enough to allow you to spend another $500 plus on a new iPad? You know, it's up to you. It depends on a case-by-case basis. But I guess that's just my thoughts on the iPad 2. And yeah, that's really basically it, guys. If you have any specific questions you want to ask me, feel free to message me or write on the comment wall. I know if I don't get them, we'll get other users who will be happy to reply to you guys. And as always, please subscribe, and yeah, have a good day.